Ratatouille is one of my favorite movies like ever. The cheese and the strawberry. Today I'd like to make what's it called? Confit. It's ratatouille. It's not stew format. It's just a bunch of stacked vegetables. Are these gonna cook at the same time? Don't burn, please. Actually, you burn. That's kind of like the whole point. I'm using canned tomatoes. Je sais, c'est sacrilège, mais quand même, I'm gonna make it the quick version if there is such a thing. I just watched Senjuro, so I've been kind of harboring that beside me. I just bought a knife that I've always wanted, and I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I kind of have this thing for knives. This is a nikiri. It's also known as a vegetable cleaver. I got it for $1, and I'm so friggin' excited about this stupid thing. This is really sharp. So this is a gaito, although as you can see, I really destroyed the end of it. I'm just gonna slap it on an 8000 here, just to give it a shine, really. I'm basically just trying to, the way that I do it, it's not by feel. I try to recreate the same sound on both sides. That's how I go about it. Now what I'm doing is I'm just looking at the edge that I've created. That's pretty good. The knife itself is a little bent though. I already know this thing's stupid sharp. I just wanted to have an excuse to bring out my knife stone. That's not bad. Is it sharp? That's the question. Ugh, no, that does not. Anyway, for $1, you know what, at a thrift store, I'm not upset. Yeah, I guess it works. Oh, Je suis désolé là, okay, je comprends, c'est un peu difficile à comprendre que j'ai pas des maudites courgettes jaunes quand même. Whoa, this guy's got like a second onion attached to him. You know what, that's perfect. Does that count as a large onion? Something I saw recently on a YouTube video that really pissed me off is someone was going like this, and then they went sideways like this. Start sideways, okay? Put your hand flat and your fingers up, and then just along. That's crosshatch. It's not freaking rocket science. Really. There's a little dent in my knife, and I'm not happy about it. The trick here is to add a small amount of oil to your butter, so that way you don't burn anything. Little bit of oil. There's no butter in it. Keep on. Got a lot of really random things from everywhere around the world, and I never really thought about it until just now. Just a little, you know. It helps if you turn the right element on. I'm just putting that out there for reasons. Oh, what's that behind your ear over there? Oh, tomatoes. You shouldn't have given me these tomatoes. I don't know if I want to do like, you know, this is way too short. I could use that slice still. I might eat it though. I'll go with thicker tomato because thicker makes more sense. It's mostly water, right? So they'll dehydrate and they'll get really, really skinny. I don't recommend doing horizontal cuts like this. I used to do tomatoes horizontally like this, and don't do what I'm doing, okay? I mean, you can. I'm not gonna be able to stop you, but it's really dangerous. I can hear all of my old chefs screaming at me going, hey, do these look like they're the same size to you? Non, va dans ton petit la fleur, esti. Je m'en fous, ils sont même grosseur. I'm gonna cut off the very end. No one wants like the zucchini hole looking at you, you know? If I took this long whilst I was working at restaurants, I would have been fired. Now the issue is that the eggplant's rather thick, but hey, you know what? In comparison, I think I can make it work. It's like I'm making 2 portions almost, if this bowl were to be the portioning, but let's face it, I'm a big boy. Don't play with your food, but when you're playing with your knives, you can, okay? So I really want to try this. It's not even sharp enough to cut through. Probably why I was in the first stop in the first place. I don't know how many of these I need. Probably a dozen. I don't know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 20. Even into like thirds of the halves. That way they're relatively the same size. Courgette's kind of like my size comparison. That's about right. Really quickly, I gotta go check my bell peppers. Yep, those are done. Well, but you're supposed to use a rack with some oil. Oh, that. I'm not gonna have enough space, but I also don't give a shit. The jazz musician in me is screaming. Let's see if a vegetable cleaver actually works. Ugh, this feels weird. It's dull as heck. Remember how I said clear your station or whatever I said earlier? That kind of applies here too. If you need more place for your station, then claim it. Remove things that you don't need. Weird place to keep tomatoes, but okay. Normally I would opt for mincing the garlic myself, but I have this garlic press and you know, it's so convenient. You just, that's it. Super easy. We'll let that fry off a little bit. Eggplant. And this is why I was always asked to sweep. Garlic smells really good. Oops. Whatever. It's a kitchen, it's gonna get messy. These are excellent in pastas, by the way. Anything as such, just really on a sandwich. Oh boy, let me tell you, you soak these in oil afterward, and you make like a roasted red bell pepper sauce, or oil, or hummus. It's not sharp. Watch the difference. Did you see the difference? I'm going to take everything out of there. I'm going to add my tomato base. Got the acidity of the tomato base. Add a little sugar, and this is the point where I would add a little bit of a wine. Specifically, I really like Beaujolais Village, around 5 years old. So like, you know, 2020 Beaujolais Village. It's really nice purple. It's fantastic. Strong recommend. Yes, I normally buy 2. Yes, I drank them all. I wouldn't add the whole bottle either. A cup and a half of wine. You don't want to be, you know, you don't want the sauce to be purple, right? Seeing as I don't have any, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of sugar, just so that way I get rid of the acidity of the tomatoes. About. Oh, he's Canadian. Yeah, house. I mean house? Yeah, I mean house. This was really just cold soup. I'm sorry. That's what it is. It's just cold. This smells really good, by the way. You know what the fat guy in me is saying right now? I wish I had some croissant. Cheese break. If I go and add it to the remainder of that half can of tomatoes that's boiling behind me, it might not look the same. And I really like the color of this. My great grandmother would want to try it, so I'm using her spoon. Yep, it's really good. Could use a little bit more salt. No, I'm pretty happy with that. What I'm gonna do with you? Oh, you know what I'm gonna make in a more traditional sense. I knew I kept these for a reason. If I didn't want to look fancy, this is how I would make this. I would go cut the tops off my courgettes, cut them into quarters, lengthwise. This. Such. This is like a knife sharpening fact. If you look at these really closely, you can tell which side the knife pulls to as it's cutting. I don't know anything about that. And then I like to do horizontal slices. Seeing as there's a limited amount of sauce in there, this is just kind of eyeballing it for the amount of space that I have. Cube that. Rich people like square cuts. I'm gonna make a little crudité, which is about the width of a credit card strip. Now I get cubes. Smallest portions of eggplant, relatively large courgette pieces, in between of tomato. Effective if you're going to be having texture eaters over. The eggplant can be kind of chewy. You don't want that. The courgette can be kind of like crunchy. You don't want that. And then the tomato, well, I mean, you know, you want to bring like that kind of like really basic sort of tomatoey. Forget it. Seeing as I was talking about making soup earlier, and there's no onion in there. Mind you, it's raw onion, but once it kind of breaks down enough in the sauce, it won't be so bad. So I just scraped everything to one side, and then I fried the onions on the uppermost portion of the pan, so that way it's gonna actually color, as opposed to just be soaked in tomato juice and effectively boiled. I'm not a perfect person, and thus I messed up how to make this ragu. But if you're careful, then I have a thing, and I'll explain it to you. Okay, so here's the thing, is I totally forgot that pretty much by putting them in the oven, they're gonna burn. What you have to do is cover them with parchment paper, which is why it makes more sense to put all these nice stacked vegetables into a casserole and then cover them with a parchment paper so that the oven doesn't end up burning them. What I have here, realistically, half of them look like this. Now mind you, these are really tasty, but they have a burnt aftertaste to them. Kind of like if you were to do pumpkin seeds at some point in time. Now that said, I have enough of them here to be able to stack and make, oh, maybe not with this one. Also, these have reached the size of about this. So we take our tablespoon and then just push, and then we put our ring mold in, and we start to layer it on. Normally I would use tweezers for this, but like I said, it's just me eating. I'm gonna do 2 of these because that way you can really see the layer itself. And they kind of shrunk. And same thing with, I'm basing it on the size of the tomato. So, same with the aubergine. Tomato round. Another zucchini. And so on and so on. Until we get what's looking like a little tower of vegetable. I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest with you. I think it looks edible. Keep going until I run out of zucchini. Let's just make it work. Life ain't perfect. We're not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. But you know what it is? The feeling you get after eating a meal that's made with love like this. No. So that's your feet. That's enough. I just lift my ring mold. And hopefully it doesn't topple over. I don't have a mouse or a rat to put a little piece of chive on the top, but that's that. Now to show you what it would normally look like. The way his mom made it in the movie. Mind you, I'm also going to use a little bit of this in there. And this a bit of just beat the devil out of it. This for some color on one side. 2 different flavors. Okay, just bell peppers, and it's really just a ragu. Like it's just a stew made out of courgettes and other, you know, courgette-esque kind of stuff like eggplant. Have a good one. Bye. Hey, congratulations. You made it to the end of the video. Does that look good or what?
Alright, here it is, okay? Look, there's a subscribe button and there's a like button, and if you hit those buttons, it really motivates me to continue to make this kind of content in the future. There's also a comment section in which you can leave ideas for future videos if you wish to see me cook something completely different. That's completely fine with me. I have no problems doing that. Other than that, just really quickly, a shameless plug. I do have a Twitch channel in which I play video games, and I do plan on making cooking streams so that way I can do these live and then just edit them down, and then you could be in them too in a way, because I'll have the chat on the screen and everything. Otherwise, once again, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.